Shabbat Shalom. I want to pick up on something I started with you a few weeks ago, and that's to talk about the importance of what we do in the annual campaign, what the needs are that we meet. And I want to talk with you this time about overseas needs. Last time we talked a little bit about local needs. And that's somewhat of a controversial topic because it seems these days, at least in the national studies and in some of our local focus groups, that this is not something that's popular with our young adults and even with some of our adults. They feel, why should we be supporting Jews in Israel and other parts of the world? In Judaism, we have a hierarchy. And I know that there are many people that don't support our heritage and tradition, but I think it's an important hierarchy nonetheless. And it says we start with our families first, then our community, then Israel, and then the rest of the world. And I think that's a good way to look at things because if we don't support our own, in fact, who will? And so I want to make the case a little bit for what we do overseas. And I can tell you that I have been and seen what goes on overseas. I have been to the former Soviet Union and to Eastern Europe. I've walked up 4 or 5 flights of steps to the apartment. And when I say apartment, I'm talking basically about a couple of rooms, a kitchen, and a place that serves as both a bedroom and a living room of an elderly person, most of the time women, who are surviving without any family only because we are assisting them. We provide food packages. We provide a place for them to go when they can get down those steps when the weather is decent enough. We provide hot meals on wheels. And we provide social activities and volunteers that come and visit them. I have been to Romania. I have been in a youth lounge for teens that see a plaque on the wall that says donated by from the generosity of the Jews in Kansas City. And so when I walk in the room, they're beaming because they don't know anything about Kansas City. They just know that without this youth lounge, they would have no place to socialize, no place to gather where they can feel safe and secure as Jews and celebrate their heritage and understand and get to know each other. I've been to Israel, and I have been uh, in a center where teens learn on computers and they learn about computers. And they do this because in Israel, most kids go in the army. And when they go in the army, if they know a skill, they can go farther. And when they get out of the army, even if they don't go to college, which many of these kids, because they're disadvantaged, don't have the backgrounds, don't have the educational skills to do, this kind of training will help them to get a good job. Without it, it will just continue a cycle of poverty in their families. I've been down to the desert and visited an Ayalim village where there are young adults just out of the army who work with teenagers. They tutor these teens in between going to college classes. And they do that because we're able to support them with scholarships. I have seen this with my own eyes. Now, I know that many of you have not. And to convince people, sometimes you have to take them and show them. In about a month, we're going to take 42 Kansas Cityans with us and show them some of these things. We also hope that next fall we'll be able to take some of our young people both to Eastern Europe and to Israel and to show them what we do there. And that maybe will change their minds and they will come back and convince their peers that it is important. I don't know how you train someone to value or educate them to value Jewish peoplehood. It's a philosophical concept, but sometimes showing them is better than telling them. And so we'll attempt to do that because without it, the future of our people worldwide may be grim. And I know that many of you are thinking, well, the Israelis have many wealthy people. It's a booming economy. And that's true. They do. But remember, they're one of the highest taxed societies in the world. And they also have to support their arts and their sciences and all the other things that here we have other people outside of the Jewish community support. So if we don't support our own, who will do that? Who will help the 250,000 kids who live below the poverty line in Israel and the 270,000 seniors in the former Soviet Union, many survivors of the Holocaust and communism who don't get war reparations and would not survive without us. So these are the things that we do overseas. These are the things that for the future will help our community to not only survive but to thrive. So I hope you will continue to support our efforts. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.